Welcome to Waqar's Fine Airs, where we make finance simple and practical for your everyday life. Today, we're tackling a topic that affects nearly everyone: borrowing. Whether it's for a home, a car, or even just a quick takeout meal, borrowing is a part of life. But here's the real question: how much do you really know about managing debt? Let's find out. Unless you're incredibly wealthy and can pay cash for everything, your car, your house, your dream vacation, chances are you'll need to borrow money at some point. And that could mean anything from taking out a mortgage worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to putting $10 on your credit card for some late night takeout. But no matter how big or small the loan, the rules don't change. When you borrow, someone, whether it's a bank, a credit union, or a credit card company, is fronting you the money. And in return, you're on the hook to pay it back, plus interest. Here's where things get tricky. Debt is not the same as cash. Yet so many people treat it that way. They see a $10,000 credit limit on their Visa and think, great, I have $10,000 to spend. But borrowing doesn't work like that. What you spend isn't just gone like cash from your checking account. It's a balance with your name on it. A balance that must, by law, be repaid. Now, what happens if you can't pay it back? Well, that's when things can spiral out of control. Struggling to make minimum payments? Feeling overwhelmed? In some cases, unmanageable debt can even lead to bankruptcy. And if you're married or in a relationship, that financial stress can take a serious toll on your personal life, too. So, before things get to that point, let's rewind. Let's start at the end, with the warning signs that might mean you've already borrowed more than you should. We're diving deep into everything you need to know about borrowing, from managing debt to making smart financial choices. Here's what we'll cover: accumulating and managing debt. How do you keep debt under control before it controls you? Warning signs you carry too much debt. Are you in over your head? Let's find out. Is your debt too high? A reality check on your financial health. Paying down debt. Smart strategies to reduce what you owe faster. Buying a home. What you must know before making the biggest purchase of your life. Renting versus buying. Weighing the trade-offs. Which option makes the most sense for you? How much can you afford? A deep dive into budgeting for major purchases. Shopping for a loan. The do's and don'ts of borrowing wisely. Tax savings. How debt can work for you. Yes, really. Calculating the equity in your home. Unlocking the value of your biggest asset. To refinance or not. When refinancing makes sense and when it doesn't. The old college try. Saving for a child's education. Planning ahead for a brighter future. How much to save. Finding the right balance between today's needs and tomorrow's goals. Buying a car. What to consider before hitting the dealership. The ins and outs of auto leases. Is leasing really a good idea? Let's break it down. Turning a money factor into an interest rate. A simple trick that could save you thousands. Comparing leases. Getting the best deal on your next ride. Sound like a lot? Don't worry, we're breaking it all down, step by step, with real-life examples to help you make smarter financial decisions. So stick around and let's get started. Let's talk about the warning signs that you might be carrying too much debt. If any of these sound familiar, it's time to take an honest look at your financial situation. First, you feel overwhelmed every single month trying to manage your debt. Maybe you're constantly anxious about making payments on time. Maybe the thought of your bills keeps you awake at night. If debt is affecting your peace of mind, that's a serious red flag. Second, you have multiple credit cards but can only afford the minimum payments. This means you're just barely keeping up while interest continues to grow in the background. Third, you pay off one debt by using a cash advance from another card. This is like shifting money from one pocket to another without actually reducing what you owe. It's a dangerous cycle that's incredibly hard to break. Fourth, you've maxed out one or more of your credit cards. You've reached your borrowing limit, which means you're stuck. Until you pay it down, that card is off limits. Fifth, you have no idea how much total debt you owe. If you've lost track of your balances, it's a clear indication that your debt is becoming unmanageable. Sixth, you live paycheck to paycheck with no room to save. Every dollar you make goes straight to bills, leaving nothing for emergencies. or your future. Seventh, you have no savings. Or, if you do, it's so small that one unexpected expense could wipe it out. This puts you in a financially fragile position. A car repair, medical bill, or even a household emergency could throw everything off balance. Eighth, you lease a car you couldn't afford to buy with a standard loan. Leasing might seem like a cheaper option, but it could also mean you're stretching your finances too thin. Ninth, you're relying on an interest-only mortgage to afford your home. This may feel like a short-term fix, but if you're only covering interest and not the principal, you're not building equity, you're just renting from the bank. 10th, you shop compulsively. Do you make purchases just because there's a sale? Or because shopping provides temporary relief from stress? If so, your spending may be driven by emotions rather than financial wisdom. 11th, you and your spouse frequently argue about money. Maybe it's about spending. Maybe it's about mounting credit card bills. Either way, financial stress can put a serious strain on even the strongest relationships. 12th, you hide your spending from your spouse. Do you discard credit card statements? Downplay your expenses? If you're keeping financial secrets, that's a major warning sign. Finally, 13th, you've been denied credit. If lenders are saying no, it's because they see what you might not. Your debt levels are too high, and your creditworthiness is in question. If any of these apply to you, it's time to acknowledge the truth. You may have a debt problem. The good news, you have the power to change your financial future. But first, you need to get real about your spending and take action to eliminate debt. Now, if you're trying your best but still feel out of control with your debt or spending, there may be deeper emotional factors at play. And that's okay. A financial counselor or planner can help, especially someone who understands the emotional side of money. Because many financial challenges aren't just about numbers, they're about mindset. You can find resources like the Association for Financial Counseling and Planning Education, the Financial Planning Association, the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors. When reaching out, ask if they specialize in the emotional side of money or if they can refer you to someone who does. Because at the end of the day, debt isn't just about math. It's about your choices, your habits, and your future. Let's help you take back control. Now that we've gone over the red flags of excessive debt, let's take it a step further. Is your debt level actually too high? To figure this out, financial experts and lenders use a crucial metric, your debt-to-income ratio. Think of it as a financial wellness check. Your debt-to-income ratio, DTI, shows how much of your monthly income is spent on non-mortgage debt, things like credit cards, car loans, and personal loans. It's a fast way to determine whether your debt is under control or if it's becoming a burden. Here's what the numbers say. Under 10%, you're in excellent shape. Below 15%, still solid, but stay mindful. Over 15%, you're nearing risky territory. Above 20%, lenders see this as a red flag. You may have too much debt. Beyond 35%, this is high-risk territory for both you and potential lenders. Let's break it down with an example. Say you make $5,000 per month. If your non-mortgage debt payments, credit cards, car loans, personal loans, add up to $750 per month, your debt-to-income ratio is 15%, right at the point where lenders start getting cautious. So, how do you calculate your DTI? It's easy. 1. Add up all your non-mortgage debt payments for the month. Skip your rent or mortgage. Those are housing expenses, not consumer debt. 2. Include credit card minimums, car loans, personal loans, home equity loans, and any other outstanding debts. 3. Divide that total by your monthly income, and just like that, you have your ratio. Want a tool to do the math for you? Check out www.wsj.com/booktools. Enter your numbers and see where you stand. Why does this matter? Because knowing your debt-to-income ratio helps you get a clearer view of your financial health. If your DTI is too high, it's time to take action. Cut back on spending. Prioritize paying down debt. Explore ways to boost your income. The takeaway? Your DTI isn't just a figure. It's a guide to making smarter financial choices. So, where do you stand? Now that we've determined if your debt is too high, let's move on to the next critical question. How do you actually pay it off? The good news? There's a solution. There are 6 essential steps to reaching that ultimate goal, zero balance. Let's go through them. step by step. Step 1. Know exactly how much you owe. Sounds straightforward, right? But a surprising number of people don't actually track their total debt. Maybe you have a couple of credit cards, a store card, and a personal loan. Individually, the amounts may not seem overwhelming, but when you total them up, the reality can be shocking. Suppose you owe $500 on one card, $700 on another, and $800 on a loan. That's $2,000 in total. Knowing your exact debt is crucial. It's the target you're aiming to eliminate. Make a list of every credit card, personal loan, and any other outstanding consumer debt. Leave out your mortgage for now. That's a different category. This breakdown will give you clarity on your financial situation and a roadmap to move forward. Step 2. Evaluate your spending habits and the justifications you make. Ever thought, it's just $20, no big deal? It's easy to justify small expenses, a quick coffee run, ordering takeout, or an unplanned online purchase. But here's the truth. The first $20 you spent on your way to a $5,000 debt didn't feel like a big deal either, did it? Small purchases add up, faster than you think. Step 3. Always pay more than the minimum. If you're only making the minimum payment, guess what? You're dragging out your debt and paying way more in interest. Try this. If your minimum payment is $30, add an extra $40 or $50 if possible. This extra effort cuts down your balance faster and saves you money in the long run. A solid guideline? Set aside at least 10% of your disposable income for debt repayment. More if you can. Step 4. Stop swiping. Use cash instead. Ever tap your card for a $2 snack and not even think about it? That's the issue. If you don't have the cash, don't buy it. Put your credit cards away. Seriously. If getting your card requires an extra step, like driving home to retrieve it, you'll have time to rethink that impulse buy. Step 5. Start by paying off the smallest balance. You've likely heard that paying off high-interest debt first is the smartest move. And mathematically, that's true. But here's the thing. Momentum matters. When you fully pay off a small balance, it feels like progress. That boost of motivation helps you tackle the next debt, then the next, until you're completely debt-free. Want to speed up the process? Consider transferring high-interest balances to a lower-rate card or even negotiating a better rate with your provider. Step 6. Close accounts when paid off, but be strategic. Once a card is paid off, you might be tempted to keep using it. Don't. Close the account. Out of sight, out of mind. But be smart. Don't close your oldest credit card since it impacts your credit score. Instead, if it has a high interest rate, keep it open, but only use it sparingly for small, planned purchases like gas or groceries, and pay it off in full every month. The bottom line, getting out of debt isn't just about numbers. It's about discipline, planning, and action. You've got this. Time to make it happen. This video was brought to you by Books and Tax Professionals, a team of expert accountants dedicated to helping you achieve your financial goals. Whether you need accounting, bookkeeping, or virtual CFO services, we've got you covered. Visit our website or contact us today for a consultation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like this video, share it with others, subscribe for more financial tips and advice. Remember, every small step you take toward financial literacy brings you closer to your dreams. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.